get all bunched up. Okay. So, hi everyone. My name is Carmen. Welcome to the third episode of the Novio late night show. I can't believe we're on the third episode and we're almost to February. So stay tuned. We're going to have a very special Valentine's edition for you, whether you're single, you have a sneaky link, or, you are married. So it's a little bit something for everybody because not everyone has the same situation. But I do want to thank our previous guests. We had Julia with us, who is the director of brand marketing for the dating app Chispa. So if you are in the Latino community or you just like Mexican or Latino men in general, any type, your flavor, get on that app. It's available for Android and iPhone users. But for this week's episode, I'm really excited because we actually have a duo. And they're actually a married couple in their 20s. So, which is very important because I've always wanted to, ask people close to my age or even younger, like, okay, how do you do it? How are you married? Like, how are things different? And I wanted to introduce Shiloh and Josh, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I was like, I don't want to mess up the names, but thank you so much for you all being in the show. If you guys want to kind of introduce yourselves and then we'll get started. Ladies first.
Hi, my name is Josh, 27 years old and currently down in Florida right now. And this is my lovely wife.
Hi, I'm Shiloh. I'm 26 and we're not originally from Florida, so don't go Florida man on us. But I'm originally from California, and I will forever claim that as home. So till my Californians out there, I miss it.
Yeah, so for people that just tuned in, Shiloh and I met, back in San Diego. So she is definitely from California, okay? So she's repping the West Coast. But that kind of leads me to this episode, like you came from California, but you met your spouse not in California. So maybe just give us a little rundown of how did you guys meet? And then I heard about a secret wedding. Like tell us your little love story and how did you all come to be?
Yeah, so we both joined the Navy on our separate timelines. Josh back in 2012 or something, 11.
Yeah, true that.
Long time ago. And me 3 years ago. And we ended up meeting when I got stationed here in Florida, and we worked in the same work center and got to just kind of talk to each other a little bit. But we actually didn't start talking until you weren't at work.
Yeah.
Where we found each other on Tinder, actually. And you do the whole thing where you see your coworker and like, hey, what are you doing here? And it becomes a joke. But then we realized we actually had very similar senses of humor and liked a lot of the same stuff. I mentioned that I liked dark beers, and he's like, hey, let's go grab a beer. And I actually didn't know that was our first date. Wow. I thought we were just grabbing beer, and apparently it was a date.
It all starts with a beer.
It all starts with a beer. But
wait, so you're telling me that you guys met on Tinder, but you guys didn't know that you guys were working in the same area?
No. So we knew each other from work. And then saw each other on Tinder and thought we'd make a joke of it by messaging each other. He had the cliche shirtless pic on a hike, so I had to comment, of course.
I was
right? Exactly.
I was the basic white bro.
Yes. Still is. But yeah, so we ended up getting together and we're kind of dating on the low key because we weren't supposed to be dating since we worked together. And once everything kind of came out to people at work, we're like, you know what? Let's just get this down on paper and get legally married because we were already engaged and knew we wanted to get married at that point. And we just didn't know when it was going to happen. So I told my parents that we were going to the courthouse that day. And he did not until after we were married. So,
oh my gosh.
As we're leaving the courthouse, he calls his mom like, hey, Shiloh and I got married. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
I think my mom's still a little pissed about that one.
I feel like there's something kind of sexy about doing something that, you know, behind people's backs or being in secret. So
sneak.
Yeah, do you think that was kind of like something that happened when you guys were together, but not really because you guys were working? Because there's a lot of couples that have that same story, you know, like obviously you're at work and you're at work most of your time as an adult. So it's kind of like, how can I not meet people at work? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, there's always that cliche, like, don't dip your pen in the company ink kind of thing, where like, don't date who you work with. But I'm not really against that idea because granted it worked out for us, but obviously it doesn't for some people. But yeah, that's who you're around 8+ hours a day. And then you go home and you grab beers or you get something to eat, you go to sleep, you maybe go to school on the side, but like that's who you're around. It's who your peers are.
They actually see who you are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good, bad, and the ugly. All of it at work.
Did you guys think that you know, getting married through the courthouse was like, oh my gosh, like how do I explain that to my parents? And then for you, I know you told your parents afterwards. So like, how was the talk with you, Shiloh? And then how was the talk with you, Josh, when you like broke it to your parents?
So I think because our parents knew we were getting married already, it wasn't a total shock. Like my parents, like when I told my mom, like you've met my mom before.
Yeah.
She is always kind of like hesitant about certain things that I do. Just like, are you sure? Like, is that really what you want to do? She's like, all right, cool. Just let me know. I'm like, so I felt that was like a blessing from my mom that, oh, she approves of this guy. Like after being like through the horrible relationships I was in previously, she was like, oh, this is a good one. Yeah, go for it.
Nice. What about you, Josh? Because I know you told your parents after the fact.
Yeah, so I told my mom after it all happened, but she, same story, like she knew that we were getting married, like that was already being planned. She didn't know when, because we also didn't exactly know when until like almost last minute.
Wow.
But
it was literally like the day before we decided, like, let's go to the courthouse tomorrow.
Yeah, but my mom knew my mom knew it was already happening, and she even told me if anything is to happen to us, that even my side of the family is taking her, and I'm out on the road. So,
oh, wow, that's sweet. Yeah, that's really sweet. What the hell?
And then the phone call afterwards was just for like, hey, mama, just want to let you know that me and Shiloh just got married, and her only response was like, wait, really? That's it? They didn't even give us a heads, and you could hear like the little bit like disappointment in her voice. It kind of hurt a little bit, like shit, I fucked up.
Yeah.
I think she still harbors a little anger towards me on that one too for not telling him to call her.
Right. I'm guessing. Are you an only child, Josh, or you have?
No,
other...
I'm the oldest of three, but.
Oh, okay. The
you
oldest,
think he'd have more responsibility in his life, right?
Well,
right.
Oh, we just never like, even my side of the family, my mom makes a joke that something's wrong when I call, because we don't ever really call each other. It's always just text or short messages. So when I call, something went wrong.
No, I feel that. Like same with my mom. If I call her, she's like, either you want money, something went wrong, or you need some type of advice. So I totally feel you on that. Well, I know you guys did mention your age, so 26 and 27. So, you know, you guys are pretty young in your late 20s, but still very young. So, like, how do you guys balance, you know, being 20, but also having the responsibility of being a married couple? Like, how does that work? You know, because from the outside looking
is late 20s now. Ouch.
After 25, girl, it's late 20s.
Oh, it's all downhill.
I'm 25 year old now.
Right. To be honest though, like we got all of our like bullshit out in our early 20s, like late teen years, like, you know, like you and I went through like a lot of stuff through our like 1920 time frame. Like that's when we were like living together. So Robert and I were roommates actually. So we were living together for like 2 years. And we went through a lot of stuff, like went through our Tinder phase, and like we'd go out and drink. We'd drink at our house was like a party house for a while.
Yeah.
So like by the time like I met Josh, it was kind of like, you know, I'm content with just going to my room, having like some mac and cheese for dinner, watching my shows on Netflix, and maybe having a beer or a glass of wine with it. So like, I don't know, I feel like we got a lot of it out early on. And it definitely kind of made it easier to settle into the just kind of chilling in the quarantine times.
Right.
Yeah, that's basically, I think that's the biggest thing is we got a lot of our craziness out earlier, so now we really are the old couple. So when it came to quarantine where we can't go anywhere,
Right.
it's not really different than before.
I realized how antisocial we were before, actually, because nothing changed. We just can't go to restaurants anymore. And like we would go to dinner like once a month or so. And now we're like, so DoorDash?
Right. And it's funny that you guys mentioned quarantine. So I'm guessing you guys got married last year before Corona?
Yes.
Yep.
We got married in October of 2018. So we've been married just over a year now.
Okay, so this is pretty new. So like how has quarantine kind of defined your relationship? Because you had mentioned like, you guys kind of got used to being in quarantine. But also like has it caused any like friction? Because trust me, like I live with another person, and sometimes seeing that person all the time, like little things can annoy you, right? Like, oh my God, you didn't throw out the trash, or like things like that. Like, do you feel quarantine has done its fair share of getting annoyed, or what do you guys think?
I'm going to throw that to you because I'm a simple person.
You're so easygoing. It's like it's adorable, but almost to a fault sometimes. There are times where like I'll come home and he's been home or something, and I'm like, the trash smells gross. There's chicken in the trash, and he's just like, oh, I thought it smelled weird. I'm like,
right.
Why didn't you throw it away then? But I definitely like. I realized how much I appreciated him for understanding who I was as a person, because I get really down and get in those depression modes when I don't interact with other people. So he knows when it's time for me to FaceTime my sister, kind of thing. Like, hey, have you talked to your sister lately? I'm like, I should FaceTime her. You're right. And then I can talk to someone other than him for a bit, because he can kind of sense when I'm getting a little agitated or I've been cooped up for too long, because I do get a little bit bitchier. Let's be honest. Straight up. I'll say it. He won't.
What about you, Josh? Like, do you feel the pandemic kind of brought up some things that you guys didn't think would come up during your early marriage?
At least from my perspective, not really. I'm very much kind of go with the flow, so nothing's really gotten under my skin. A lot of pandemic stuff has been, I don't know, just seeing all the extra time I have now, and seeing now all the other tasks around the house I need to do. That's the only real thing. But as for our relationship, no, my perspective, I haven't.
I kind of appreciate the time we have together, especially with us being military. Like, I'll be getting out in a month or two at this point, but he's going to be going on deployment soon at our next duty station. So he'll be gone for months at a time. So, like, I'll even say it, like, I'll walk over and just kind of like sprawl over him like this sometimes. And it's just like, I just love you. I just want to appreciate the time that I have with you. And it's just like, okay, he'll still be playing on his phone. And I'm like, love me.
Well, I know you mentioned, like quarantine. Well, for you, maybe quarantine brought up some sad moments, because I know not everyone deals well with being inside and not having like people to interact with because of safety and everything. Did you guys also connect with other military couples, or like how do you guys keep in touch with friends? Because you two, are together, but you each have your own separate lives as well. So like how, maybe for new couples, how do you give them tips for keeping individuality when you're married?
So I know we do have like our married couple friends we have, and there are usually people who we work with just in different areas. But of course, then we each have our own individual friends who will get on the phone, talk with, and catch up. Where, like, for myself, I still occasionally talk to some of my best friends from when I lived in California, and like my best man at our wedding.
Oh, when they talk, they're on the phone for 2 hours at a time, and I don't exist. It's hilarious.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So like we'll do our own like individual call each other's friends, and then of course we'll go hang out with our work friends and our work married couples as well. So
nice.
But yes, like we do have like our joint friends, because with us both working at the same place, we obviously have similar friends. But definitely being able to go off and do our own things. Like for me, I do my photography. That keeps me busy. And that's like an individual thing that I do. Like he'll help me out on some like big shoots and stuff like that. But that's a thing that like I'll do where I just go away for a couple hours, do my photography, come back and edit. And it's been nice to kind of have that to be a bit of a creative outlet while we've had this stuff going on, because we can't go see too many other people. So we can't go out in big groups larger than like, what is it, 10 or something like that?
10.
And we can't go to like restaurants. We can't basically leave our houses at this point. So it's nice to have something to kind of pass the time.
Nice. I know people are going to want to know, because I love this, you know, partnership that you guys have. It seems like it flows really well. What are your signs? Because people might want to know, like, ooh, like, what's the signs?
Ooh, I'm a cliche Virgo. I'm very type A.
I actually don't know. April 27th. Which one is that?
You're a Taurus.
Yeah, that one.
Oh, he's a Taurus. Oh my gosh. Girl, I'm attracted to Taurus men too.
Apparently I am. I mean, this is a combination that's technically not supposed to work, but it does.
Right.
Because, you know, very strong-willed signs, but with him being so go with the flow, like he's super chill, like just kind of like, yeah, okay, you want to do this? Yeah, sure, why not? And if I'm stressed about something, he kind of like pulls me back, like, hey, right. Slow down here, pump the brakes a little bit. I need that.
No, I feel like that's important, because trust me, like, I mean, a lot of the Taurus men that I talk to, they're very strong-willed, but I'm a Libra, so obviously, you know, I'm trying to like
balance your scales.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, like calm me down. But we're gonna be also talking about, you know, marriage. Yes, it has its very good moments, but there's also very, you know, low times or times where you guys might be in disagreements. And I know off camera we talked about don't go to bed angry. What does that mean? And then what tips do you want to give to people who are in relationships or people that are married? Like, what does that mean? Don't go to bed angry. And why is that important in your relationship?
So I always hated that phrase for the longest time when I was dating. But then again, I was also kind of dating the wrong people that I could be angry at for long periods of time. And not really, if you hear a barking dog, it's just don't worry about her. She's a total drama queen. It's a little too chilly for her at 66 degrees.
Oh, excuse me.
I know, right? Anyway, so I know it's one thing that like a lot of people tell you at your wedding or when you're getting engaged is don't go to bed angry. That's our best piece of marriage advice. But we kind of like work together to find a different way to do that. So like we have a rule where we don't, like, no one sleeps on the couch. Like we don't continue a fight into the night kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
well, if we sleep on the couch, then we're both sleeping on the couch.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like we're both sleeping on the couch tonight, I guess. We're going to curl up with the dogs on our 2 couches, and, you know, all dogs will pile on the small couch with whoever's there. So we would rather work through it and stay up a little bit later. But one thing that we do every night, our wedding song was Forever and Ever, Amen. Ooh. And so what we'll do before we go to sleep every night, we'll say, I love you and I love you too. And one of us will say forever, the other will say forever and ever, and then we'll both say amen together. So it's almost like we have like a little bit of like a nightly prayer kind of thing together we do it every single night, even if we're traveling. Like I was home for my sister's baby shower back in July, and we're on the phone every night saying our little forever and ever amen. And that's like our own version that we found. So like for people out there kind of looking for something like that, just find something that you two shared together. Once we found our wedding song, we were like, that's it, we're doing that. We have the song posted above our bed too, so if we ever forget those couple words, we can just look up and see it right there. But
oh, that's cute. It's like a sticker that you put on your wall, or it's a frame?
No, my mom actually got a canvas thingy made where it's the lyrics to the song and then our names with our wedding date like above, like over it, laying it. Oh, it's really cute. Pretty. It's super cute. But yeah, that was our wedding gift from my mom.
Nice. I feel so single.
I love.
It's out there.
¿Y tú, Novio?
I know, right? Oh my God. Girl, I can't even. I'm gonna get in trouble if I put this out, but yeah, we'll see. No, but I did want to talk a little bit about. You mentioned that Shiloh, that you have photography, and then Josh also helps you, but he also has his own creative outlet. How do you guys balance that? Because you both have things that are different that you both work on, but how does that kind of come together? Like, how do you guys help each other out to support each other creatively?
So mine's really quick. Mine's brand new. I just kind of started playing around with it. I first started getting into it. I was trying to do a project for my work.
What were you
and
trying to
create.
do? You haven't explained what it is.
Oh, my bad. I was just like a little graphic design, I guess you could say. I was making a project for work, trying to make a work coin. So,
Work coin?
like
It's literally like a coin that has like a cool design on it, and every place that you go has a different one, and like certain commanding officers have their own. And
it's like a military thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I was just designing a coin, and then I got bored and started drawing more things with it. So with her doing photography previously, she knew all the programs to use. So she started just nudging those towards me, and I started using them and playing around. More of a
Nice.
spare time deal.
He's actually good at it though. But for him helping me, I am super reliant on him for like opinion. If I've been staring at a photo for too long, I'm like looking at it, like I can't figure out if this looks good or not. I'm like, hey, do you like this one better or this one? He's like, oh, that one, of course. I'm like, sweet, done, got it.
Nice.
And after every shoot, when I'm ready to send off the photos to the client, I'll have him look them over before I send them. Just like, hey, tell me how this gallery looks. Does it flow well? Like, does like the colors look good? Does it look like it's too bright? Is it too dark? And he'll give me feedback on it. And it's really appreciated, because if like anyone who's a creative knows that if you stare at a project for too long, it just gets so muddled, and you really do need to take a break and get a fresh set of eyes on it. Like, seriously, that's a real thing. And
No,
then
that's good.
and then at photo shoots, like I said, he helps me out. And anyone who's seen The Office, we jokingly say he's my assistant to the photographer. So it's great because like he'll help me out by like he'll bring me props if I need them, help me reset. And with COVID, like I had a set where I had a bunch of clients coming through, so we were wiping down the set between every client. He was grabbing the little standy wipes. He was making sure I drank water, had some snacks. He keeps me on track.
That's cool. I like the fact that both of y'all have like, your own separate creative outlets, but at the same time you help each other out, even through feedback. Because I know like some creatives are very protective of their work, whether it's getting feedback or, any type of thing. So that's cool that you guys are open to, helping each other out. So I like that. And then I also wanted to ask, because I know you mentioned that you've only been married for a year and a couple months. What is one thing, if you could sum up, like, that you learned about marriage, like the one vital thing that each of you learned throughout your time? I know that's a tough one.
Yeah.
That's a biggie.
I would say overall, don't hold on to the anger, because no matter what, you're with your partner because you love them. And yeah, there might be little things that'll piss you off from day to day, but at the end of the day, you do know that you love them. So
Aww, I can't top that. What I've learned really is, like they say, marry your best friend, but also let your husband become your best friend, or let your partner become your best friend, because yeah, you can have this partnership and you can hold on to the fact that you have other friends in your life, but at the end of the day, they're the person you're waking up to. They're the one you're coming home to. So very much like how he said, it's like, don't hold on to any of that anger. Just trust in them and know that they have your back no matter what, and give them that same respect.
Damn. This is like the pre-Valentine Day vibe that I wanted.
Okay.
But I have to ask you guys, because this is, Y Tu Novio, and I do ask some unfiltered XXX question. I'm gonna put it very kindly. How do you guys keep the spice and your sexual lives, still popping? Because this is a limited dick forever, Shiloh. Like, lucky you, girl.
I get it whenever I want. All the no, I'm kidding. But like, really, it's just one of those things where like, it's gonna sound weird, but it's like the conversation will be right. And for some reason, we'll just be having a conversation. It's like, I'm really attracted to what you said. Like, that's got me going, man. And it's not even like a sexy talk. It's just like something he says. And I'm like, I kind of want to jump your bones now. Like, let's get it, man. But like, so I'm going to tell the Christmas story.
Okay.
So for Christmas
story?
this year, we got together with some work friends. And I don't know if y'all have ever heard of the saran wrap ball game. It's where you have saran wrap and you put a bunch of little trinkets and like get goodies like the airplane shot bottles, scratchers, and like we had hand sanitizer in there. There was also an assorted variety of sex toys and like other assorted things. So we ended up coming home with like a bunch of like different flavored lubes and stuff, which we haven't used. Also, oh my gosh, there's pop rocks for like your junk. So I guess when you're giving a blowjob, you like sprinkle them on your mouth or on his dick or something. I don't know which way it goes, and then it's pop rocks on your dick, which sounds terrifying, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm scared.
We haven't like dabbled with that stuff yet, but like we have friends that definitely have spicier lives than we do. So they kind of keep us on our toes and makes us think like, it could be crazier. I think we're okay.
Right.
But no, it's like really just like there's times where we'll go like weeks without it. And that's not been like the cornerstone of our relationship. Right. So it hasn't been super duper like terrible if we go a couple days or a week without sex, but when we do, it's not a point, babe. Last night.
Nice. And then I know we're coming down to the end of the episode, but I know someone wanted to ask, who asked who to marry, or was it just kind of like a conversation you both had beforehand? How did that all happen?
So we had a discussion beforehand, like, yeah, we want to get married eventually. We don't know when. But my dearest, why don't you tell the story of how you proposed to me? We'll do the first time.
It was very romantic.
There was multiple times?
There was twice.
Both
superbly romantic.
The second time was a little better.
Okay, continue.
So first time was super romantic. I had to wake up early for work, and I leaned over to her asking for a uniform item. And then she was helping me out. Then I immediately just dropped down. This is about like 4:30, 5:30 in the morning kind of.
Okay, so we'll hold up here. First of all, you were looking for a uniform item and not telling me that.
Yes.
And so it's like 4:30 in the morning. I'm tired as hell. I don't wake up that early. So he's getting ready and he needs a pair of PT shorts to go to work out in. And I remember him not having some the day before too. So it's like, he probably still doesn't have them. So he kind of like leans over, hey babe. And I'm like, please tell me you're not asking me for PT shorts. So I was like rude as shit.
Yeah.
And then I kind of look over and he's like, will you marry me? And then
I asked for the shorts.
You're like, I still want the shorts.
He still wanted the shorts, but had to put a ring on it first.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It was great. It was that's for sure.
Well, I'm so glad I got to speak to both of y'all and that y'all got to share, some of your tips with everyone, because I feel like that's always kind of like a question, like, how did it happen? Like, how does it work? Like, how do you guys keep it together? But honestly, if anything, I would say like the lesson here for me, since I'm talking to you all, is that I could generally sense that there is a friendship between you guys, and then obviously a partnership. But I think that's really, really dope. So thank you so much for being my third duo guest here at the Novio show. Like, I'm really, really excited. And then before we go, if you guys want to plug your pages, whether creative or personal, if people want to ask you questions or just want to, maybe talk to you a bit more from the episode. If Shiloh, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. So like I said, I do photography. So if you guys want to follow my page, it's Shiloh Renee Photography. I don't know if I can comment somewhere with it because people always misspell my name, but
Yeah. I'll put your information in the comments below.
Comments below then, guys. Yeah, follow me there. I do travel. Military makes it a little difficult to travel right now, but I'll be out in a couple months and hopefully be able to see the world again.
I don't really have a social media. I just have I have a personal Instagram.
It's like you prepped for like I've got nothing.
I have a personal Instagram, and even that, I don't think I've posted on that in around our marriage, maybe.
Jesus.
So yeah, I haven't posted anything on social media in a while, so gonna tag hers again for the photography.
Yes, support
And if anything, just like pictures, because I mean, send your love from afar.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for being my third duo here in the Novio show. Don't forget, we're live every Wednesday, usually at 8 p.m. But for this special episode, we did it at 5 p.m. Because they're 2 hours ahead. But thank you so much. Don't forget to follow them and their social media. Well, Shiloh. Also support all her pictures and everything. But thank you so much. And don't forget to tune in next week. We have another special guest. But thank you so much, guys. Bye.
Bye.